Alright guys, I'm back in the office again. I'm blessed to have the privilege to be able to attend our school's homecoming game, basketball games tonight, JV boys and varsity boys. I am back in Deuteronomy still. I am in chapter 19 where they had to read cities of refuge, and we're going to go ahead and get right into it, guys. When the Lord your God destroys the nations whose land he is giving you, you will take over their land and settle in their towns and homes. Then you must set apart 3 cities of refuge in the land the Lord your God is giving you. Survey the territory and divide the land the Lord your God is giving you into 3 districts, with one of these cities in each district. Then anyone who has killed someone can flee to one of the cities of refuge for safety. If someone kills another person unintentionally without previous hostility, the slayer may flee to any of these cities to live in safety. For example, suppose someone goes into the forest with a neighbor to cut wood, and suppose one of them swings an axe to chop down a tree, and the axe head flies off the handle, killing the other person. In such cases, the slayer may flee to one of the cities of refuge to live in safety. If the distance to the nearest city of refuge is too far, an enraged avenger might be able to chase down and kill the person who caused the death. Then the slayer would die unfairly, since he had never shown hostility toward the person who died. That is why I am commanding you to set aside 3 cities of refuge. And if the Lord your God enlarges your territory, as he swore to your ancestors, and gives you all the land he promised them, you must designate 3 additional cities of refuge. He will give you this land if you are careful to obey all the commands I have given you, if you always love the Lord your God and walk in his ways. That way you will prevent the death of innocent people in the land the Lord your God is giving you as your special possession. You will not be held responsible for the death of innocent people. You will not be held responsible for the death of innocent people. But suppose someone is hostile toward a neighbor and deliberately ambushes and murders him and flees to one of the cities of refuge. In that case, the elders of the murderer's hometown must send agents to the city of refuge to bring him back and hand him over to the dead person's avenger to be put to death. Do not feel sorry for that murderer. Purge from Israel the guilt of murdering innocent people. Then all will go well with you. When you arrive in the land the Lord your God is giving you as your special possession, you must never steal anyone's land by moving the boundary markers your ancestors set up to mark their property. You must not convict anyone of a crime of the testimony of only one witness. The facts of the case must be established by testimony of 2 or 3 witnesses. If a malicious witness comes forward and accuses someone of a crime, then both the accuser and accused must appear before the Lord by coming to the priests and judges in office at that time. The judges must investigate the case thoroughly. If the accuser has brought false charges against his fellow Israelite, you must impose on the accuser the sentence he intended for the other person. In this way you will purge such evil from among you. Then the rest of the people will hear about it and be afraid to do such an evil thing. You must show no pity for the guilty. Your rule should be life for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot. And that's the end of chapter 19, guys. And so my absolute favorite part about this passage is the room for error and mistake God gives us. You know, He loves us so much, He could ensure that certain things never happen. The reason why He allows it is because He allows us to will it to exist. And so if you go into reading Ecclesiastes, you'll see, everything's allotted under the sun. Everything has its time. And I even think sometimes that's the good and the bad. And it's to kind of give that relaxed position that God's in control, and outside of that, nothing matters. And that's really the stance of a lot of Ecclesiastes. But here in Deuteronomy, when it mentions that room for error, that mistake, you might think to yourself, well, why would God allow that, an axe to fall off? Say, all happens, all is permissible under His rule, because He is such a mighty God, He controls it all. Say, He gave us dominion over this place, over the whole earth. Not some of it, not part of it, not only when we're in a good mood, not only when we're listening to Him. He gave us dominion because He loves us. And so that some people might say, oh, because evil exists, that shows that God doesn't. That's the exact opposite. It exists because his love for us is so immeasurable that he allows us to make mistakes outside of him. So God is not out here making mistakes and just letting stuff fly. He gave us dominion. And so he's obeying the law he set in place for this. And so when you reach out and you cry out for his intervention, that's exactly what happens. It might not be in the way you see it, might not be in the way you want, but the dominion that we have over this place, we ask for his intercession into things, because, and he will abide, and he is such a mighty God to reinforce that he asks you to be invited in. That's crazy. The creator of the universe loves us so much and gave us so much authority here that he wants to be a part of everything, but will only be a part where he's invited to. That's crazy. Do you know the type of discipline, the type of understanding, the omnipotence that requires? I can't even begin to fathom. I can't even begin to fathom that for me in my own household, let alone to be that over all households. I want to extend my authority whenever possible, if it's convenient for me, if it teaches my kids a lesson, if I want to control the outcomes to the best of my ability. With discernment, out of love, yeah. But I seek for that control simply because I feel that's what I'm called to do. And in many ways I am. You could make that argument, absolutely. But to be so benevolent, to create such a perfect environment that you could make whatever mistake, any mistake, and still be within the parameters of his love, and just simple welcoming back and inviting him to come back into your life, because it can only happen when he's absent. And you have to be absent from him. You want to be away from him. And he's everywhere. So you just ask to not have him intervene when you act a certain way or speak a certain way. And that, I can't even fathom that level of power and understanding over. We're a whiny bunch. And so I just appreciate that for what it is. And so on that note, have a good night. God bless, guys. I love you. Jesus loves you. I'll be back for Deuteronomy chapter 20 tomorrow, where the header reads, Regulations Concerning War. And so if you plan on doing some fighting, tomorrow might be a good idea to tune in. We're going to see what those regulations are concerning war. But on that note, have a good night. God bless. I appreciate you guys coming and having fellowship with me, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for chapter 20 of Deuteronomy. Have a good night.